Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudo's Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. Today is going to be a stitch tutorial called the tread stitch. I am currently using this stitch and making a blanket. When I'm finished with it, I'll show it to you, but I'm just going to do a swatch today. And I'll show you some examples that I have already made up with this stitch. This is the first one that I did, which I am actually needing to flip this. That's the right way. So it's a very simple 2-row repeat. So I'm going to actually add this as this is an intermediate pattern, but it can be considered easy or beginner if you know how to double crochet, single crochet, chain, and then going around the post to make the side stitch here. And I will show you how to do that as well. Now this other one I have not finished it, but I'll show it to you. So this is in the multicolor, and then this is in a solid, and this is using a smaller the same size hook. So this one here is a little drapey, and I used this 5mm hook here. And depending on how you want it to look, if you want it to have extra drape, I would suggest going up a hook size than the recommended. But if you want it more like this, closer together, with a little bit less holes, it's a pretty good stitch. And this is in the Lion Brand's wool. Oh, where is that label at? It's down here. There it is. Woolies that I got from Joann's when they were closing. This was the only one that I could find. It's the Blush Heather. Now I will show you today's the swatch pattern using the same 5mm crochet hook. You'll also want to get a couple stitch markers. I have these two together here, and yarn and scissors. Where's my scissors? I want to make sure you guys all know what you need. Scissors, yarn, or hooks. I'm going to suggest a 5mm crochet hook if you're using a 4-weight yarn. Again, this all depends on how you want it to look. If you want it to be a little bit more drapey, you can use a 6mm, which is what I'm using for the blanket. Or you can use a 5 or 5.5. It all depends on how you want it to look. So I'm going to go ahead and get another stitch marker here to hold that together. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do what I wanted to do with this, which is make a scarf out of this yarn that was left after I made a hat. But that's okay. And a yarn needle. You can use whatever yarn needle you want. This is the one that I had close by. I know I didn't weave these in yet. Alright, so to get started, go ahead and get your yarn, whatever yarn you want to use. If you want to use a multicolor, if you just want to use a solid, again, it's all up to you. Let me get this out of the way. It's a multiple of 8 plus 5, and for the sample, okay, there we go. For the sample, I'm going to chain up 25. So it's a multiple of 8 plus 5. I'm going to chain up 29. Now this hook here came with my Woobles kit. I like this hook. I have no problem with it at all. That's a 5. I don't know if it's going to come through or not. That's a 5mm hook. I8 because H8 because I9 is 5.5, but it all depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to chain up 29. Okay, I've got my 29, And I don't know if you heard me counting in the background. I wasn't trying to say anything while I was counting. I'm trying to wait till this gets. And if you want to double check, you can always count back, starting with the one underneath the hook, and then counting back to make sure that you have 29. Now, the first, you'll want to get one of your stitch markers and mark the chain right underneath the hook. And I'll explain that to you why here in a second. So the one right under the hook. Come on, focus. I really need better cameras. This is not liking me. Actually, let me change. Should I make sure this is in? Because it doesn't like when I move too fast with this camera, and I don't get it. It's supposed to be for recording. So in this stitch, right below the hook, we're going to go ahead and mark that chain. It's a chain, not a stitch yet, but grab both loops, or however you can grab it. Now we're going to skip 3 chains and double crochet into the 4th. So the one that you just marked, you'll skip. So you'll count that one. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, we're going to do 1 double crochet. Now this chain that was skipped, the first 3 that were skipped, does count as your first double crochet. So if you're not used to locating that turning chain on the next row, you'll want to mark that. And even if you are a more experienced crocheter, you can still mark that if you just want to make sure you're keeping in the right. So all the chain 3s will count as a double crochet from row 1 and out. And then we're going to go ahead and double crochet into the next chain. Now we're going to skip 2 chains. And if you need to know how to skip chains, I'll get my other stitch marker. So you'll count these little bubbles. Actually, let me get the... There we go, that one, that'll work. Okay, so you're going to skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd, we're going to go ahead and double crochet into the 3rd chain. So skip 2, and then double crochet. 1, 2, into the next one, double crochet. And here's where we do the side stitch of the cluster. We're going to chain 3. This does not count as a stitch. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go around this stitch with a double crochet, 3 double crochets. So this is the first one. You're going to go through this little this little spot where we skipped the 2, go behind, grab the yarn, pull up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. You're going to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, go behind the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. We got 1 more to do. Yarn over, go through the back of that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over. I'm going a little... Come on. You'll have four loops then. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And then you're going to go ahead, you can kind of fix that. If it's a little scrunched up, you can always fix that. Then we're going to skip another 2 stitches. Make sure that the one stitch that you skip is the one you just worked from, because it can be deceiving. So this stitch is actually part of this 3 double crochet cluster thing here. So 1, 2, and into the 3rd, we're going to do a double crochet. Another double crochet into the next chain. and then one more double crochet into the next. And this is the end of the repeat. I should have said that. So this starts the repeat, this ends it. So when we skipped the 2 here, this started the repeat. And then we do the 3 double crochets, and then we'll skip 2 again, skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the 3rd, we're going to do the slanted, I don't know what the actual terminology is for it, and I do apologize, but we're going to do the slanted 3 double crochets next. Alright, and then don't forget to, after you do that double crochet, to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm really hoping this turns out better than what it's looking like right this minute, because it keeps going out of focus. And then the 3 around here, I'll show you that again. So after the chain 3 from your 1 double crochet, yarn over, go behind the stitch, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's almost like you're doing a, what is that, a back post stitch, but you're not. You're actually doing, it's a little different, but it's similar to that. So we'll do that 2 more times. Yarn over, go behind the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay. And then we'll do it 1 more time. Yarn over, go behind the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's that. And you'll start to notice the pattern looking like a tread from a tire. It is a very cool pattern. Let's see, 1, 2. So we're going to skip 2 again and go into the 3rd. And depending on what kind of yarn you use, if it's multicolored self-striping, will also depend on how it looks in the end. I'm going to do 1 double crochet after skipping the 2. So 1, 2, 1 double crochet into the next 2 chains. Okay, and then you'll have your other part done. Okay, and then since we just did 3 double crochets, one right after another, we do a slanted 3 double crochet stitch. And again, I'm not sure the correct terminology for that, but that's just what I'm calling it, as the slanted stitch. We're going to skip 1, 2, and into the next one. This yarn that I'm using is a 100% acrylic yarn that was clearanced out at Hobby Lobby several years ago. It was their turquoise color. Okay, and then we just did the 3, so we know we need to do this one next. So after the double crochet, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, depending on the size that you want for this, it does shrink up a little bit. So you'll want to make it a little bit, chain a little bit more than what you want or desire to have your project that you're going to use this stitch with. Go ahead, and then we're going to go, since I just did the chain 3 after the double crochet, we're going to go ahead and go behind the post and do 3 double crochets. One more. Okay, and again, if you need to, like that looks a little crunched up there, I just kind of pulled it to kind of separate the stitches there. a little bit to give it a little bit more room. All right, and then we're going to skip 1, 2, and your last 3 stitches. 1, 2, yeah, last 3 stitches. 1, 2, why the heck did that come out wrong? Okay. Okay, that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, okay. You should have 3 chains left. Okay, so when you get down to the end of your row, you should have enough stitches to skip 2 and then do 1, 2, 3 double crochet. So let's go ahead and finish this. 1, 2 into the 3rd stitch. Do 1. If you can grab both loops, you can for this from the chain. If you don't, you don't have to. 2 and 3. Okay, and that completes row 1. Row 1 is the right side, so your these stitches will all be on the right side from row 1 going up. So let's go ahead and do row 2. We're going to chain 3 after the last double crochet. 1, 2, 3. And then you'll want to mark that stitch right underneath the hook, because this counts as your first double crochet. Turn your work. And if you like to turn your work and then chain 3, however you like to do it is up to you. I like to chain it, then turn it. We're going to skip this first double crochet because this counts as the first double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the next stitch. So skip the first stitch into the next one, double crochet. And then again, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet. And then we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, which replicates the missed chains on the very first row. And then at the top of the chain 3, we're going to single crochet. So you're going to skip the next 3 stitches and then single crochet into that chain 3, the top of the chain 3. If you need to, you can, go 1, 2, 3. This next spot is the top of the chain 3 right here. So we're going to go into that spot and do a single crochet. Of course, if my hook will let me. Okay. And then chain 2, 1, 2, which counts as the skipped chains. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. The three previous double crochets. And then chain 2 again. 2. And then again, we're going to skip the next 3 double crochets, which is 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to single crochet into the top of the chain 3. And that is the repeat for this row. And once I get down to the end, I will show you how to end the row as well. I hope you all are doing great. I am sorry that, this I'm doing Thursday, August 21st. I can't believe August is almost gone already. Um, uh, I think this pattern would look really good in black or a very dark blue. Again, I am doing this, I'm doing a blanket with this stitch. When I'm done with it, I will tell you guys what stitch count I used and how many rows and all that. And if I decide to put a border on it, I will let you know as well. Right. And then we're skipping the next 3 into the top of the chain 3 to single, chain 2. All right, we're at the end of the row, and you may be still working on yours. If you want to, you can pause this and come back to when you're ready to work the last 3 stitches. We skipped the last 3 double crochet, did a single crochet, chain 2, and now we're going to do our last 3 double crochet. So we're going to go ahead and double crochet into the next, double crochet to the next. And this is why we have the stitch marker here, because we do need 1 more double crochet. And to get that, we're going to use the top of the turning chain from row 1. So if you want to, you can leave, I've been leaving it there, but you can take it out. I leave it there because it does help get my hook in that spot a lot easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this here. And then I will take out the stitch marker so that we can mark the next row. Now row 2, you can say, starts the repeat of the pattern. So I'll do 1 more row with you just so you can see how that looks. All right. And there's the last double crochet. Now I have found that this does give a very neat border, edging, very straight, even with the chain 3s on the side to start the next row. It still is turning out really well. So now that we've done our last double crochet in row 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to mark that stitch right underneath the hook so we know where to put that last double crochet. And again, this does count as your first double crochet for the next row. So we're going to skip the first double crochet and double crochet to the next one, and double crochet into the next one. And now we're going to jump over to the single crochet that we did on the previous row and do a double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work around this double crochet with 3 double crochets around it. And again, if you want to, you can move those around so it's not so scrunched up there, so tight on top of each other. And then we're going to skip over to the next 3 double crochets and double crochet into each one of those. Just make sure you're not double crocheting all into the same stitch like I almost did. Alright, and that's the repeat for row 3. And I'll meet you down at the other end here. You can either pause the video, fast forward, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. I keep having to pull yarn out of my skein over here for this. That's all right though. Okay. Don't miss the stitch totally. I would like to let you guys know that I started a new website for merch. So if you're looking for either crochet, yarn related, knit related, I am working on that. I will probably put a link in the description box once I have a little bit more stuff for crochet, yarn related. I'll probably put a few things in there for knitters too. If you watch my channel and you're a knitter, there are some people that do watch yarn or crochet channels because they do talk about yarn as well. And I do try to talk about yarn as much as I can besides crochet. I do have some stuff on there that's specifically like related to other like hobbies, so you can check that out if you want to as well. I probably won't do too much of that stuff, but all right. I'm at the last 3 double crochets at the end of the row, and just like row 2, we're going to double crochet into the 2 double crochets. And then for the last one, we got to get that turning chain for the 3rd one. And again, you can, I like to leave this. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. Come on. And I know I'm in there right because I can feel it hitting the plastic hook, the hook. The hook itself is hitting the stitch marker. So you'll just repeat rows 2 and 3 until you have the size, the height that you want. I'll do a couple more here and I'll show you how I finish this pattern so you can see how it's actually ended. Okay, so I'm working on my second to last row, and to know what row you're working on, you count the 3 double crochets, not the slanted double crochets. So this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm working on row 9. Row 10 is going to be my last row. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this row up and show you how to finish off whatever you're working on, blanket, scarf, so it's an even top and bottom to your whatever you're making, your project. I hope everybody's doing well. I know I didn't have a video this morning, but this one will be in place of that. And tomorrow will probably be 2 videos, 1 at least, but possibly 2 because I did finish my hooks and needles pattern finally. Well, I had it finished, but then I had to get something to really finish it, so I'll show you guys that. And I have the Crochet Nation magazine that I got, a magazine. Newspaper. It's a newspaper. Crystal, it's a newspaper. Alright. Last stitch again. Don't forget that the last stitch is in the turning chain. So it's a good idea if you're not used to using the turning chain to either mark the stitch or or just remember that you have to use that turning stitch. That's why I keep it marked. Alright, now since the next row is going to be my last row, I'm not going to mark that stitch on this one. So you still want to chain the 3, 3, turn your work. And again, we skip that first double crochet, go into the next one and double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, skip the next 3 double crochet and single crochet into the top of the chain 3. I'm tongue-tied. Chain 2, and then 3 double crochet, chain 2. This here really brings this up to the level of the slanted stitch. Okay, into the top of the chain 3 to single crochet, chain 2, and again I do apologize that this may come out blurry looking, but my camera just doesn't like apparently me moving too fast. So, alright, and then skip over to the next 3 double crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the top of the chain 3, chain 2, and 3 more double crochet to end the row. Come on. No, you don't want to. There we go. Okay. And we're done with that one. And then all you have to do is fasten it off and weave in your ends. Now you can, if this looks a little too crooked up here, you can always block this, but I think it's a nice pattern. Now again, this is not the right side, this is the wrong side. The right side is this way. This is the right side. So just make sure if you add a border, which I think a border would look nice with this, a simple double crochet, a simple simple shell stitch would probably work well. It's all what you would want to put on here. That's why I'm leaving it blank, because it's up to you on what you would want to add to this. Now, I know that the other side kind of had this pushed back to make it look like almost like a bobbled effect type, but this is not the right side. This is. So your slanted stitches should be facing left of you, not to the right. And let's see, is it picking up? Oh my god, I didn't even do that.